everybody. This is Henry Kramer, 605 Chaser, and welcome to the show. We don't have a whole lot of severe weather going on right now, I'm not going to lie, but we do have some anticipated, well, not really anticipated, but some weather that's possible. If this is the first time that you are joining us, be sure that you go ahead and hit that follow button as well as share the live so that way people can be aware. Let's go ahead and get things started. But before we do that, I want you to make sure that if you're in the South Dakota area, want to make sure that you stop by Mission Nutrition Fit Revolution or Refuel. Get your nutritional needs from the experts. They have a number of years of experience and great coaching for your nutritional goals, help you meet your nutritional goals. They've got some shakes with some protein. It'll actually not feel all gritty and powdery, so make sure that you check them. Give them a order ahead call. You could call Fit Revolution at 605 681 6838. Otherwise, Mission Nutrition at 605 306 4429. And Refuel has an Engage app that you can actually, if you go in there, you can actually order ahead. So be sure to check them out today. They got great energy bomb teas as well. You're not going to get that crash at the end of drinking that. You're going to just get the focus that you need. Also, check out Prairie Pro General Contractors if you need a new roof or siding after storms. Or you just need a new roof because you've been putting it off. Call them today for a free estimate, 605 880 7776. Let's go ahead and get to the main events here. What do we got going on? All right, let's go ahead and find what we got going on with crazy weather down in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. This is a look at a HRRR weather model right now. I appreciate y'all joining. We're going to get to some of the Central Plains stuff that's expecting to happen mid next week. That's some crazy stuff. We're going to have a quiet pattern for a few days, but we're going to go ahead and get to some of this right now. Be sure if you're just joining us, you could go ahead and ask questions in here of what areas you want me to take a look at here, and I'll get to them as quick as I possibly can. So right now, the Baton Rouge area, we'll take a look at the live radar. Not a whole lot going on. Just to the south of you, we've got a special weather statement. That's some very small hail, nickel-size hail, moving east, kind of moving on out of the area. A lot of that moisture down there. This you're looking at right now is a tornado risk. It's 2%, so not real big, but still, nonetheless, it is possible to have a tornado in that 2% region. The other overall risks, want to show you that. We have day one outlook for today. As you can see, it's kind of a marginal risk. Looks like they kind of downgraded it. Let's see if that's the case. Well, there is a couple of different areas of tornado risk also. Let me make sure this was updated. Yeah, this was updated at 7:52 this morning. So let me go ahead and bring over the tornado risk, the other tornado risk here as well. Anything for Harris County, Columbia, Missouri? Columbia, Missouri, you'll be fine today. Areas of Missouri are in general thunderstorms today, so you'll be fine. Thanks for the great question. Appreciate that. Anything for Harris County, Texas? Harris County, Texas, you're outside of the risk for tornado event today, thankfully, but you are still in that area that is marginal risk. You could have some hail, and you could also have possibility of some gusty winds at times. I do expect that to be a little bit later this afternoon. Great question. Thank you so much. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at a little bit of the timing based on HRRR and see what the timing of that is going to be. As you can kind of see, things kind of move. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning now for areas Thibodaux and de Elemans. You're welcome, Timber. And if you, thanks for the follow. Appreciate that follow, Timber. Again, if you're just joining us, be sure that if you have some folks that are in these areas, or you just have some folks that want to be weather aware, and maybe you enjoy the content and want to make sure that other people stay safe as well, go ahead and share that live, and we can make sure that that feed gets to them. I'm going to bring this back to 11Z update here. I want to show you kind of what's expected in areas of Tulsa, Oklahoma area today as well. So this was updated early this morning. It looks like these are going to be very isolated up in the late afternoon, early evening, sometime after 6 o'clock, Tulsa area. Let me take a look at significant tornado parameters, see if there's anything that pops out at me, so to speak. JJ, thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate that so much. I don't see anything that's really suggesting that at this point for significant tornado parameters. There's a few little blips here, very, very possible. Morris, Chicate, right along that I-40 area, sometime in the late evening hours. That's when probably, and then even possibility a little bit of significant tornado parameters. These are, that does, just because it has the word significant doesn't mean it's going to be a significant tornado. It just means the numbers there. They are there. Very low though, extremely low numbers. But we can't rule out a tornado in this green swath. So if you live in that area, be weather aware in the late afternoon, early evening hours. Let's go ahead and take a look at one other thing here. We'll take a look at max updraft helicity, and then we'll go mosey on down to the extreme south here and see what that kind of shows. Again, not really a whole lot of confidence in HRRR information showing, not really showing a whole lot there. So that seems to be most of the significant severe weather is going to stay down here in Lafayette, New Orleans. At least that's where the hail is going to be pretty significant. We're going to expect redevelopment around 10 o'clock this morning. These are in Central Daylight Time. And we do have that one severe thunderstorm warning right now that is was issued at 8:05 just a few minutes ago. Thibodaux to 9 miles southwest of Gray, moving east at 40. Lots of hail. Thanks, Zinnia, for the follow. What about Edmond, Oklahoma? Jerry, I will definitely get to that. I appreciate the chats. Edmond, Oklahoma, you're outside of that green tornado risk. However, you do have a risk for marginal severe weather. Let me pop that up here. You're just on the outskirts of that. So likely the best that you're probably going to see at this point would be some showers. Unfortunately, some of the areas have already been impacted earlier in the week and last week with some rain. So you don't need any more rain, but you're definitely going to get some rain. And you could end up having a few bouts of 50-mile-an-hour gusts at times. You kind of show you the estimated radar loop here and see the timing on that. That's going to be mainly for Edmond area. It's going to be very, very spotty. What about Beaumont? I'll take a look at that, Sergio. I appreciate that. And Memphis. Memphis, Tennessee is going to be general thunderstorms today. Tomorrow, as you can see, off to that direction, the day 2 SPC severe outlook, that green is the marginal risk. Memphis, Tennessee area could end up seeing marginal risk for tomorrow. And we'll kind of give you more updates on that tomorrow morning's update. So if you're not following, go ahead and be sure to follow. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at Beaumont, Texas, I'm assuming. Thanks so much. Any tornado risk for Edmond? No. There's not any tornado risk for Edmond. All right, it's lower than 2%. Let me put it that way. I'll show you the tornado risk here. You're outside of that, so you're good to go there. All right, let's go to Beaumont, Texas. Beaumont, Texas, you are in the marginal risk for today. And if we take a look at the timing of this, it looks like most of it is going to be done and over with. Doesn't show any additional redevelopment. So most of your storms ended up coming through uh, in the early morning hours. Asheville, North Carolina. Tomorrow, Asheville, North Carolina, you do have the possibility. Thanks for the question, James. You do have the possibility for some hail as well as some gusty winds. Could have some 60 to 65-mile-an-hour wind gusts at times. The tornado risk right now is less than 2% for Asheville, North Carolina for tomorrow, James. But stay tuned and be sure to follow. We could end up having some updates for tomorrow morning. South Carolina, you're at risk tomorrow for marginal risk. We'll have more updates tomorrow morning on the actual risks for that as the SPC updates that at 7:50, usually somewhere between 7:30 and 8 a.m. Central Daylight Time. Great question. Thank you, Sumter, South Carolina, Anastasia. Wheeling, West Virginia, are we done with the storms? Unfortunately, no. West Virginia tomorrow is going to be more of your marginal risk. Right now, we don't expect to have anything real significant, but just stay weather aware, and we'll have more updates on that tomorrow. All right, Bentonville, Arkansas. I got to get to that. All right, Bentonville, Arkansas. You're the second dot here. You're in the marginal risk here for today. Thankfully, you're not in the tornado risk today. Oh, you are actually just very ever so slightly. Had to prove me wrong here. So, Bentonville, you're in that risk for tornadoes, isolated tornado possible. And the timing on that for Bentonville, Arkansas is most likely going to be late in the evening hours. Let me take a look at the satellite loop. I'm guessing in Bentonville right now, if you want to tell me, Sweet Martine 1, if you could tell me, I'm guessing you got some cloud cover going on right now over there. Let me take a look. Southern Illinois, Nate Diaz 10, not expecting any severe weather over the next few days. And not really expecting a whole lot. I mean, today you might have some general thunderstorms in southern Illinois, but that would be about it. Not expecting it after that. In general thunderstorms, it's non-severe type storms. GG, you're saying mic check, please. So are you guys having some issues? You guys hear me okay? Thank you, Samantha123 for the follow. I appreciate it. Leather Morris, thanks for the follow. You're welcome, Nate Diaz. Stockbridge, Georgia, that's tomorrow. Okay, thank you, Anastasia, for confirming that you can hear me. I appreciate that so much. I apologize. Pasadena, Texas, Waco, Texas, you guys are good. Marginal risk for severe weather. We don't have you in the risk for tornado activity. You guys have really been getting hard hit over the last couple of days. So, Waco, Texas, you're good. And then Stockbridge, Georgia, that's going to be your risk is going to be tomorrow, marginal risk. Stay tuned and be sure to follow. We'll give you some more updates here for tomorrow. Right now, as it stands, there's less than 2% of a risk for tornado activity for Georgia for tomorrow. But I cannot rule out some gusty winds, 65-mile-an-hour winds, and damaging hail. Are we saying tornadoes for Broken Arrow, Tulsa area? There is a risk for that for Tulsa area. Thanks so much for joining, Kyra. I appreciate it. Um, the Tulsa area does have that risk, although I don't see anything that really suggests at this point that there's that anything's going to come and hold true. But they have that risk because the environment's there, the elements are there. Let me go ahead and switch this over to a radar, live radar, and we can take a look and see what's happening right now. We got 60 degrees, 58 for the dew point. So we have that moisture coming through, but don't see anything that would suggest a whole lot going on there. But I've been wrong before. I mean, what weather guy can't get it wrong? You know, we're human, right? So, time frame for Tulsa. I'm going to do the best that I can for Tulsa here for you. You're going to be able to see this is pretty dicey and very isolated. I mean, some areas are going to get maybe some rain and showers, and others might end up getting a little bit of hail, but while others won't get anything. So as you can see, it's kind of really spotty up here near Bartsville around, after 5 p.m., even maybe after 3, if things can get going after 3. So Tulsa, possibly some rain showers, isolated tornado risk. Thank you, Zilphi, for the follow. Appreciate it. Melissa Cook, good morning. What are you seeing? Nashville, Tennessee. Nashville, Tennessee would be for tomorrow. Tune in to the live for that. And tomorrow is a marginal risk. It's going to be less than 2% as of right now for tornado risk. But again, Storm Prediction Center will have an update later this afternoon um, for day 2 outlook, and then they will of course have another update tomorrow morning between 7:30 and 8 a.m. Central Daylight Time. So tune in tomorrow, and we'll have more details on your risk for Tennessee. You're welcome. Thanks for the follows. Appreciate that, Melissa. You're welcome. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look back down here. We do still have that severe thunderstorm warning that's down in New Orleans area, north of Montego. Probably pronouncing that wrong, but I'm a boy from South Dakota. What do you expect? I don't get out much. So that's life. Let's take a look at live radar down here and see what we got going on. Lots and lots of rain. I mean, take a look at how big this hail might be here. Pretty small, maybe nickel size. Quarter. A little bit bigger. Quarter size hail. But doesn't look too significant for the rest of the storms. None of these, as we look at the integrated liquid, we don't see a whole lot going on as far as hail. Echo tops, we've looked at these storms and kind of see how high up in that cloud base is. These definitely right here look pretty significant. Anytime you get into the 50,000 or close to it, yeah, that one there, 51, 52,000, that's a pretty Pretty large storm right there, and that's going over the Huma Lockport area. And then we do have a storm down here. Of course, this is right along the coast, so it's not really impacting the land, the mainland. And some of these areas here are going to continue to move off to the northeast. And the reason why I'm kind of going off the coastline here is because these are going to eventually end up impacting areas like Lake Arthur, Lafayette, Louisiana areas a little bit later this morning as they kind of pick up the moisture from the Gulf and move along. Thanks, Nathan, for the follow. Tyler, Texas. Tyler, Texas is not expecting any significant severe weather for today. And thankfully, you're expected to get a break. Let me show you the risks for overall. Marginal risk for Tyler, Texas today. And if I zoom back out here and go to a HRRR, I'll show you kind of the timing for Tyler, Texas is that pin drop right there. Just got to bring this back here. 1 second, folks. Loading, loading. All right. If this is the first time on here, please be sure to go ahead. Thanks, Cindy Marino, for the heart me's. I appreciate it. I use Radar Omega, Joseph. I use the Alpha. So as you can see, Tyler, Texas, the HRRR weather model is not really pointing out anything that looks significant over the next several hours. It's really going to struggle. It's mainly going to be down in this Louisiana area where all the moisture is. Thank you so much for a Cindy Morito, another gift. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look at Springdale, Arkansas. Yes, yes. Finally, East Texas gets a break. Absolutely. You guys have been getting bombarded with that. All right, and I'm after I get done with this, I'm going to kind of go into a mode of because I am possibly going to be chasing live storms next week. And you guys are probably wondering, oh, okay, now you got my anxiety going. Don't get your anxiety going. This is going to be in the Central Plains more. Um, my initial thought is it's going to be up into areas of South Dakota. So we'll have to see. I'm going to take a look at that in a little bit, but it could go down into areas of Kansas as well as Nebraska as well. I know I got some followers on here from there. All right, so you were asking about Springdale, Arkansas. It looks like your timing of that is going to be maybe some very light marginal risk type of showers. You can see it right here. Um, doesn't look that significant based on this weather model update. It tries to get going later in the evening hours, but I think the big thing is going to be some cap. Let's take a look at that. So surface-based SIN is something that helps us figure out, okay, where is the cap and is it eroding? Is there enough elements there to erode the cap and allow storms to build? All right, so right now, as you can see, lots of cap going on. The purples, that shows a very large negative number, indicating a lot of cloud cover or a lot of cap in the atmosphere. The warm air aloft, making it very difficult for things to erupt, so to speak. Eventually, that cap breaks, and then we try to get those storms going, but they don't really initialize very much until sometime later in the afternoon. And again, those are very, very small, isolated storm cells, not expecting a whole lot. Upstate South Carolina, old woman. Okay. Uh, I don't like calling people old woman, but that's your tag, so I'll definitely I'll say that. Upstate South Carolina, North Carolina, yes. Erie Flattes. There is some stuff for tomorrow. Let me go ahead and shut these risks for today off, and then I'll go to the NAM model and show you since we're in here. Houston, Texas is good. You guys are in a marginal risk, but I don't expect there to be anything significant today. I'll kind of show you where this NAM is putting this. We'll go down to Houston and kind of show you. It's going to stay off the coastline of Texas for today. And so that would be, I would not be too concerned about that. Lake Charles, Louisiana, yeah, you guys are under the gun for possible severe weather. Your guys' area, this is a radar estimate right now. And this is a little outdated, so I've got to go back to the HRRR to kind of show you that. So Lake Charles area, continued rain, lots of development down there. You are in that 2% risk for tornado activity later today. But by the time the afternoon comes through, this weather model is suggesting that things move more over to Baton Rouge, New Orleans area, and then eventually move over to like Gulfport. And then by the time the evening hours come through, it's pretty much out of here. So there you go. All right, so we're going to take a look at upstate North Carolina. Now, just be aware the not all of these weather models update at the same time. So we have a 2 a.m. update here. This makes it a little bit. Oh, where about Chicago? Chicago, we're not expecting anything other than general thunderstorms, maybe a few rumbles of thunder, some light showers. Again, nothing significant today, tomorrow, or even Friday. There could be a possibility of some things in the works for next Wednesday, but that's a long ways out. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at upstate North Carolina. Again, just some generalized thunderstorms for today, mainly late afternoon hours. And then for tomorrow, it looks like it would be likely right around, as you can see, some of the far northeastern part of Tennessee. So sometime in the early evening hours is times up here are Central Daylight Time. So Greensboro, so it looks like your main time frame based on this weather model would be sometime after 5 p.m. You'd want to definitely stay weather aware in North Carolina. Reminder, your risk for tomorrow is in day 2. So that day 2 SPC severe outlook, that green, dark shade green, that's the marginal risk for severe weather. And then if we take a look at the tornado risk for tomorrow, again, no data found for tomorrow. It means less than 2%. Areas, Jacksonville, Savannah, Georgia for day 3. Um, and I don't want to go any further out than that because I mean, this is what your probabilities of this area are for day 3, which would end up being Friday. So just stay weather aware for your Friday. Your weekend looks a little crazy, but again, marginal risk for your Friday down in these areas here. So we move that along. Looks like sometime on the 9th, early morning hours. But again, this can definitely be subject to change quite a bit. All right, let me get those off. We're not going this far out because we do these live updates every day. So London, Kentucky for tomorrow. So Kentucky, stay weather aware. You are in that marginal risk for Kentucky tomorrow. Less than 2% risk for tornado activity tomorrow. But if you're not following, go ahead and make sure that you follow because we'll have a live update here tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. as well. Now, I want to get to Mary Lamb, Destin, Florida. How about the Florida Panhandle? Florida Panhandle, you guys are under the gun for some marginal risk weather for Friday, even tomorrow. So we'll get the timing of that figured out here for tomorrow. I appreciate you all so much. Um, and asking the questions, but we can't get every single one, unfortunately. So I'm going to kind of give a rundown here of what we are anticipating to have happen. I do need to look at a GFS. One second here. Let me see if the euro is updated. No, that was yesterday, so I don't want to go to the euro. I think the GFS was updated at 4 a.m. Okay. So what I'm going to kind of show you right now is 500 millibar winds. And what this does is it kind of shows where our dome is, so to speak. So you see all this clearing right here? This is where that high pressure is, and it's kind of the omega blocker somewhat. You kind of watch for that clearing and then kind of watch as we progress this along where these pattern changes happen. Bear with me one moment. And the time is up at the top. That is in Central Daylight Time. So as we get into Friday, we can kind of see things trying to shape up over here in Alabama and that panhandle, uh, even as we get into the 10th, but not a whole lot really going on there. Again, that's why they got the marginal risk. But again, that clearing is most of this area is all clear. That omega block pattern continuing. Now, when we get further into like the middle part of next week, that's when things really change. You can start to see more of a defined line right here. And watch this, because this is going to kind of get more of a bow as it goes along, and then it'll get even further to the south into the central part of the plains. And the reason why I'm concerned about that, watch this here one second. It's not showing it right there, but I know there was an update. One second here. Let me look at the euro. I think the euro does a little bit better of a job showing it. So one second. I'm going to go back to the euro. GFS isn't my friend always. All right, here we go. This is what it's going to show. There we go. It's ever so slight. So there's a little bit of a blocking pattern here on the 15th. That's where that low pressure is. And then right along this area here, I think it's going to be able to show it a little bit better for those moisture returns. Let me see if I can get over back to the GFS and show you the dew points. That's probably going to be an easier way to show it. All right. Warm today and then another cold front in Chicago. Montgomery, Alabama. Great question. Montgomery, Alabama, you guys are in a marginal risk for tomorrow. I'll have more updates for you tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Right now, the risk for tornadoes is less than 2% for Montgomery, Alabama area. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the 15th and the 14th a little bit better here. This does a little bit better of a job. Okay, there we go. There's those moisture returns. So this is kind of what this shows it a little bit better where we're thinking some storms. I don't think it's going to be that far north, but more than likely, if I were, I would say somewhere along this line. and points eastward, there'll be a pretty significant risk for a tornado. That's my thought. I don't have any knowledge from the Storm Prediction Center or the National Weather Service that suggests that, but based on what I see and what I'm looking at is these moisture returns. You got 60, some areas near 70-degree dew points. And then on the flip side of that, you got extremely dry air, 24, 32. You got some in the 20s. So where you get those contrasts, the warm, moist air mixing with that dry, cooler air, that definitely is indication that there is a possibility, and this is why I'm expecting to go ramp up some storm chasing um, for next week, Wednesday or Thursday, depending on the timing of this. All right, now we're going to look at the the SPC, or I'm sorry, supercell composite for the 14th and the 15th. Let's go ahead and take a look at that right now here. The supercell composite is suggesting the 14th that things are going to ramp up, but it's going to be between that 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. time frame, which concerns me because that means things are going to get initiated pretty late. And see here we have 10 p.m. Near the winter area. I know folks that are in the rest of the U.S. are like, well, what about South Dakota? Well, that's my neck of the woods, and so that's where I do my live chasing. I'm not able to live chase. I'm not sure if you all saw it, but I'm not able to live chase on in the field on this platform that I'm on TikTok, anyways. I am able to do that on YouTube as well as Facebook. Last time I did live chasing in Nebraska, I think it was a couple of weeks ago or something. I got banned for 24 hours. I got a warning, so they don't allow that. So if you guys do want to see some of that content, um, certainly go ahead and go to my YouTube channel, 605 Chaser, or my Facebook page, 605 Chaser, and you'll be able to see when I go live for the live in the field chasing. So again, this is these numbers that I'm showing you, 12.2, those are pretty significant numbers for supercell composite. Let me take a look at one other factor here that I want to look at is the surface-based CAPE. How much energy is going to be, is there enough energy potentially for something to happen for the middle of the month into the northern plains? So if we go into the 14th, 15th time frame, doesn't show a whole lot at 1 o'clock in the morning, but obviously, as we get into the later part of the day, we got over 1,600 joules per kilogram. That's pretty significant. A lot of energy up into Bismarck, and a lot of energy down here into areas like Grand Island, Kearney, Broken Bow, O'Neill. A lot of energy there for that potential for the 14th. So that's what I'm kind of thinking is going to be happening. And then we get even more energy over here on the 15th um, in areas of Springfield, Cedar Rapids area. Let me kind of show you one last thing here. EHI, let me just look at that for GFS. Again, a lot of things can change, folks, as we're kind of looking at this a little bit further out. EHI again kind of shows it after that 4 o'clock time frame, late evening hours. I don't like late evening hour storm chasing. Anytime it gets after dark. It's not that I get scared. It's just if you're relying in some remote areas for radar and you can't see anything, it's really tough. All right, Chloe Oliver, Huma, Louisiana. I will get to that right now. You guys are under a special weather statement, so nothing significant at this point in time. We'll go back to live radar so we can kind of show you where all of this is going on. Looks like probably 40 to 50-mile-an-hour winds. Yep, 40-mile-an-hour winds, pea-size hail. Nothing real significant. I guess my word of significant would be if you're above that 50 miles per hour. DevMar 66. I am using Radar Omega, the Alpha subscription. So New Orleans, you got definitely some heavy, heavy rain on its way to you. They just issued a special weather statement up here as well at 8:41. Torrential rainfall. So let's take a look at that. Speaking of rainfall, okay, what I'm showing you right now, this is in the red. That is the moderate risk for hydrological outlook, means moderate risk for torrential rain for today. And then outside of that, like Lake Charles, Baton Rouge, you're in the slight, and then the green Houston area, that ends up being the marginal risk. And I think, again, as I stated before, I think Houston is going to be on the backside of this to where it's not going to be nearly as significant. And that kind of makes sense based on the slight risk from the hydrological outlooks. We have a special marine warning. Got lots going on there. All right, let's go ahead and take a quick peek here. You're welcome, Devmar. All right, let me go ahead and take these risks off so people don't get in a panic mode because the red colors can definitely freak some people out. All right, so Kentucky. Kentucky, that is going to be your risk is for marginal risk tomorrow. I can kind of quick take a peek since there's not any real significant severe weather happening right at this moment. Just went through an 8 a.m. update here, so it's just going to take a moment for me to load. Tomorrow, likely early morning hours, and then it's going to try to redevelop by the afternoon hours. So, really, the eastern part of Kentucky, sometime after 3 o'clock. If you're in the eastern part of Kentucky, Arizona, dude, 75. That's what I would be concerned about in the afternoon hours. Chillicothe, Ohio. Ohio, you're going to be, as of right now, Ohio, it would be for tomorrow, but it would be general thunderstorms. Stay tuned to our weather updates here tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. We'll be doing a live update tomorrow. What we got? Nothing with San Antonio, you Alex, tomorrow. I'm not sure what that means. So, San Antonio area, not expecting a whole lot in the San Antonio area for today or tomorrow. Even though they have a marginal risk of severe weather, really isn't, the weather models aren't really showing it right now. I think it's going to struggle. I think the atmosphere got more stabilized from some of the severe weather that came through. Doesn't look too significant, although right here, maybe. That would be tomorrow night. Oh, yeah, that is possibility for San Antonio tomorrow night, late night. Because I do see that green marginal risk down in San Antonio for tomorrow. Connor Rose, are we going to be okay? Oh, Chillicothe, Ohio? Yeah, you're going to be fine. Stay tuned to our lives. We'll have another update tomorrow to let you know of some, just stay weather aware no matter where you're at. All right. Uvalde? Uvalde. I don't know. Uvalde. Uvalde. We're looking at tomorrow right now. Late, late tomorrow. Uvalde, possible wind gusts 60 plus miles an hour tomorrow. Possible late, late tomorrow. That's what we're kind of looking at for Uvalde. You're welcome, Connor. Never get weather like that. Yeah, it's crazy. Well, you definitely, this year has been an unusual year, that's for sure, especially for areas of Texas. All right, I am going to let you guys go. I appreciate it so much. And thanks for the gifts, guys, and thanks for continued support. I appreciate that. I'm going to go get me a shake from my wonderful sponsors here. I'm going to go to Mission Nutrition today. And for my folks that are in South Dakota, in Sioux Falls area, you can come join me if you want to. That'd be great. I'm going to go and again, can't forget about our other sponsor, Prairie Pro General Contractors. If you need a new roof or siding after the storms, call today for a free estimate at 605 880 7776. Thanks for the follow, everybody. You guys have a great rest of your day. God bless. Stay safe. And again, one last look at the outlooks here. We have Storm Prediction Center severe outlook, marginal risk up into eastern part of Oklahoma today. Again, there is a 2% risk for Oklahoma, but the weather models this morning are really not showing a whole lot going on. Just main thing is to stay weather aware. And then tomorrow that shifts eastward, covering a marginal risk for areas of Alabama, once again, areas of Louisiana and Mississippi, Georgia, Kentucky, uh, as well as Tennessee. So just stay weather aware. I am going to be back tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Central Daylight Time so that we can give you some more updates with regards to possibility of some storm chasing that I'm going to be doing live in the field next week, Wednesday or Thursday, depending on how that storm cell in Sioux Falls and kind of central part of South Dakota goes. So Joe, I've got to let you go. I'll take a look. That's the last one I'm going to get. Rogers, Arkansas. That's the last one I'm going to get. Rogers, Arkansas. Rogers, Arkansas, your risk for today, you're way up there. Light showers. Rogers, Arkansas, you're in the general thunderstorms. The timing of that is going to be sometime late, late in the day, maybe early evening hours, sometime after 7 p.m. Get your umbrella, but don't worry about any huge storms. All right. Thank you all so much for joining. And thank you, Joe. You're welcome. You guys have a